Hello everyone, welcome to Rizzo, Rankin, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with game 1 on this Wednesday night for a Wednesday doubleheader. This one between the Edge and the Thunder in the early game. I'm Caden Sir, I'll be your voice for the PBLA for both these games today. And off the opening draw, Andrew shuffles possession into the side. And now Friedman picks it up for the Edge offense. Friedman moves it back to the top. And Andrew Harding takes it just inside the blue line. Harding to the middle to finish around the blue line. To finish in for Andrews. Andrews fired his shot that went off the iron and deflected back toward the Roman Catholic sign, picked up by the Thunder. Taking it away, Connor Resch up the floor. Resch finds Michael Carbone. Carbone to Traeger Hogarth. Hogarth, a pump fake to Carbone. Now Hogarth driving in on trying to get by Andrews. He could not. Now Hogarth resets to the top. Resch the first look. Resch back to Carbone in between the defenders. Instead gives back to Hogarth. Now a shot in front, and they score. 1-0 Thunder. As Eric Young, the starting goaltender today for the Edge, lets one sneak through, and it's 1-0. This faceoff sent in further and behind the Thunder goal, where waiting is Alec Rubman, the usual backup goaltender, now playing for Connor Atkinson in the early going. We'll see if that changes over the course of the game. A 1-0 Thunder lead, and Rubman will pick up the loose change. The ball is trickling out in front of him. Moves it up the floor, and the Thunder have it on the far boards. That's Carbone on the far side. Carbone to Hogarth, who's pressured out. Now Hogarth gives to Brian Sullivan. Sullivan in the nearest circle. Sullivan, the shot clock's to 1. Shot on a hop, and shoulder pad save made by Young. Takes him 2 opportunities to scoop it up, but it's eventually into his stick cleanly, and so the Edge offense takes it away yet again. Sean Walsh returns the favor to Andrews. Andrews dishes it to finish. A shot saved by Rubman. Rebounds back out to the Edge offense, who will swipe at it and send it back into their defensive zone. The Edge trying to get it away. They cannot. It'll be back to Thunder ball, and now the Thunder will slowly take the ball around the outside. Now Connor's by his man. A shot and a save made by Young. Rebound deflects out of play. They say last touch by the Edge. Rush from just inside the blue line gives to Sullivan. Deflects on the top of his stick. Now Sullivan brings it in off 1 extra hop. Sullivan try to get by his man Michael Wadley, but Wadley with good defensive coverage. Come off. Max Polchini, who will do the same. Polchini with a pass to Gillespie, and Gillespie further in. A shot sent wide, didn't make contact with Rubman. The Edge need to kill the Edge with 5 seconds to play on their shot clock, and still loose. Friedman with a chance at it, but Friedman couldn't get it on line. And so it'll be a violation against the Edge, with Julian Friedman being called for 30 seconds. Hogarth in the corner. That's again toward the top with Resch, who fired one just high and wide. Rebound played by Sullivan off the boards. In the main circle, Sullivan over by us was pushed away from us, and picking it up is Watley. And Watley with the pass. Friedman. And they'll both sub off. Friedman gives to the Finesse. Pass to the other side now. Hasdorn picks up the rebound. He fires a shot wide. Deflected again, loose in front. Alec Rubman with 2 big saves. That one he denies a 1-on-none. Connor back the other way, has Hogarth nearby. Connor does it himself, fired a shot wide. Now tries again, another shot saved by Young. Plays his own rebound over by the boards. Carbone waiting for it. He's taking 2 shots in this possession. Connor in the near circle. Connor looking for deep in Hogarth. Instead it goes toward Carbone. Shot is saved by Young, stuck in his pads momentarily. So a little over 5 minutes in, now 5:17 off the clock in this first frame. It's 1-0 Thunder. Low scoring first few minutes. Friedman brings it in on a hot fire just shot, and that one's saved by Rubman, who's looked excellent thus far. Thunder offense take the ball the other way. Hogarth fired one that was just offline. Rebound is by an edge player, back into the stick of another, and Matt O'Brien is the exchange. O'Brien to DeFinis. DeFinis will bring it across the midline. DeFinis to Sean Walsh. Walsh spinning beneath the blue line. Walsh in the middle. And Friedman couldn't get on it. Resch to the midline, driving in toward the net. He's ushered away. Austin Connor takes from the blue line now. Connor to Carbone. Carbone with the shot clock to 5, pressured away. Now back to Connor at the top. Shot clock to 2. Connor on a hop, saved by Young. And the rebound's back out to Carbone. Carbone fires a pass out wide to Daly. That's Brian Daly around the blue line. Now Ryan Kwan has it. Ryan in the main circle. Kwan centering feed. Daly, and may have been deflected, but saved by Young nonetheless. Andrews makes contact with Finis after dropping off the pass. Encroaching those has joined. Finis took a shot, went another one, and it may have got past the pad of Rubman and found the iron, but stayed out all the same. Connor to Resch, has Kwan nearby to his left, but instead drives in himself. Resch in front on a hop saved by Young, and Young will fall on it just outside the crease. Edge ball across the midline with Friedman taking the pass. Friedman between the circles on a hop, saved by Rubman, and again he's on it just on the outskirts of the crease. Rubman's pass to Kwan. Kwan with Polchini in coverage. Polchini tried to get him across the midline. He could not. Instead drops one off, and the shot is blocked down. And it was loose on the floor before Young pounced on it, and the edge did a good defensive stand there. Keep the game at just a 1-goal deficit over the first 8.5 minutes now. They finish with a high pass that's brought in by Hasdorn. Hasdorn up the floor to Julian Friedman. 10 seconds to play on the shot clock. Friedman kicked in, and the kicked in while spinning is called for the violation. About 2 seconds before the shot clock was to expire, and there's the delayed horn. With the Thunder ball out of the way, Sullivan around the blue line. Sullivan gives for Kwan. Kwan cutting into the near circle. Kwan underneath, pass deflected straight down off the floor, and scooped up by the Thunder. Sullivan, the shot clock again down to 10. Backtracks, hits across the midline. Sullivan chasing, shot clock to 5 to 4, and a shot ushered wide. The rebound is past everyone. It'll be a violation against the Thunder. And it's the edge turn yet again. Sean Walsh just outside the main circle. Walsh for defense. Finnis passes further in. The shot is sent wide. May have caught a piece of the leg pad, but did not, as the shot clock did not reset. Shot clock down to 6 and to 5. The Finnis winds and fires. That one's on line. The rebound is popped loose and given back to the edge, and Friedman will have the first 30 seconds to work with. And a smart play there by the Finnis, seeing the hole, taking the shot on goal, and getting the edge chance to reset. Now off-speed shot and off bounce, as well as Andrew Harding tried his luck. But not much of it showed there, as it will go all the way back down to the corner of the edge defensive zone. There will be a shot clock reset once the Thunder are on it. Quan to the blue line. And Quan in the main circle, lost the ball, lost his footing as well. But had some help along the way as Polchini was missing from the push. The Thunder there for 30 seconds. Resch in the far circle. Resch driving in, one-on-one. Resch dishes out wide. A shot over top of Young. And sent wide. Last touch off the iron. And it's ruled edge ball. Boyles across the midline. Boyles has dishes another shot fired wide. Boyles went over the top of Quan trying to find the ball. Neither one of them could get it. Eventually Quan's on it. 3 to play in this first period, so it's a 1-0 score. Resch to Hogarth, or correction, that is Carbone who had a chance in front. Saved by Young. Rebound played off the glass just beneath the shot clock. And back to the Thunder with Sullivan in the main circle. Sullivan to the middle, looking for Connor, didn't quite get there. Instead, Resch is on it. Resch in for Quan, that one's too far. Carbone has it. Carbone is shot and saved by Young. Rebound loose. Young is on it, and he keeps Quan out of the area. Finnis takes the pass and fires wide. Friedman back for the Finnis on a hop, saved by Rubman. Deflected into the corner by the scorer's table. The Edge are on it again with Gillespie. A centering feed looking for Boyles died out in the middle. And now the Thunder are back the other way in a 2-on-1. Resch off the pass from Carbone. Resch in front, turned away by Young. Had to readjust his helmet there. Is the defense picks up the loose change. To Finnis the other way, streaking in. And another save by Rubman. Quan across the midline, gives for Sullivan. Sullivan, a pass wide of Hogarth. And tracking it down to Harding. Harding from behind the crease. Went for Gillespie. Gillespie was shooting the ball. The Thunder player went down. That's Hogarth, and Quan scores. From right in front of the crease, they capitalize on the edge turnover, and it's 2-0. And that ends an almost 13-minute long scoreless drought in this first period. His last goal came less than a minute in. 2-0 though, so still a goaltender's duel in the early going in the final 40 seconds of play in this first period. Off the draw, Hasdorn will end up with it yet again. So crosses the midline and cuts back. Hasdorn on one hop, tried to find Gillespie, who is nearby Boyles. Neither one got on it. Instead, Hasdorn diving in front, and a good goal. That might take us to the end of the first period as Joseph Hasdorn, sprawling on the outskirts of the paint, makes it 2-1. Horn sounds to end the first 15 minutes of play. 30 more to come at Rizzo Rink. It's a 2-1 Thunder lead over the first 15. "15 minutes down at Rizzo Rink in the early game on this Wednesday night. Between the Thunder and the Edge, the Thunder leading a goaltender's duel over the first 15 minutes, 2-1 the score. It was 1-0 with 120 seconds to play in that first period, but both teams with one in the final minutes. Say final minute and change. Andrews takes it across the midline with 14 and a half to play in a second after the first Thunder possession of the period was thawed out. Hasdorn over and back across the blue line. Now again, cuts back, fires a shot, deflected away by Rubman. That one was off the netting behind them, a fresh shot clock for the Edge. Edge ball, the finish took a quick shot. And again, it was deflected by Rubman and sent out of play. The Thunder bench disagrees. Now Boyles tried to get another quick touch in a shot. This one was blocked down by the Thunder defender. He was fresh in front of him. Quan takes it away down the other end. Quan finds Declan Hogarth. Hogarth to Connor. Connor behind the net. And his try will wind up in the stick of Eric Young. Young with the pass up the floor to Friedman. Friedman through the blue line, spinning between the circles, now backs away. Friedman further in, and that one goes in and out of the stick of an Edge player. Sent off the boards nearby us. Thunder have it with Traeger Hogarth. Hogarth up the floor for Quan, and it's in and out of Quan's stick twice. Now the Edge fighting for in front of the broadcast booth, and taking it away was Matt O'Brien. O'Brien to DeFinis. DeFinis for Friedman in the corner, chasing it down. Friedman spins into space. Friedman with the shot clock to 5. Chipped the ball, trying to get back on it. Friedman lost it again, still loose. And it's a violation against the edge. No shot attempt even got off in the final seconds of that shot clock. Resch takes the pass around the midline. Resch ditches to the middle and sent wide of Hogarth. Ricochet off the boards, played by Sean Walsh. Walsh entering for Andrews, and that's by him. Scooped up with one hand by Resch. Resch up the floor. Thunder driving in. Shot, Carbone. Couldn't finish. It's loose in front of Young, and he's back on it. Young catches it out wide. Chris Calhoun, the recipient. Calhoun to Cassidy Higdon. Higdon centering feed for the finish. It's wide of him. Thunder will get it right back with Hogarth. Hogarth weaving back and forth. And he's on it again. Unable to get clean possession, but swatting at it. Swatting his way all the way down for a pass to Connor. And Connor's shot went over the top and spiked straight up off the ceiling. Traeger Hogarth will come off. A short-handed Thunder bench today. Yet to mention that. Looks like only 3 or 4 guys on the bench for them today. Still surviving though with a 1-goal lead. It looks like we'll have our first penalty of the day, and it'll be issued against the edge. It's a 2-minute slashing penalty going against number 35, Julian Freeman. It's 5-on-4 for the Thunder. Or now the next minute 35 as the clock was running. Resch, Carbone, over for Sullivan, who goes behind the back and sends one into the corner. Connor and Quan in the area. Sullivan's on it. Sullivan gives for Connor. The return to Sullivan. Sullivan whips one on goal. They score. And the Thunder capitalize on the man up early on. About 45 seconds into the penalty. And it's 3-1. And Connor will have his second. Ensuing face-off is edge ball into the corner. Lawrence fighting for it, gives for Andrews. Andrews behind the face-off circle, backhand attempt. It's blocked down by another Thunder player, and picking it up was Brian Daly. Daly to Resch around the midline. Resch shuffling in. Resch between the circles, evaded it over a top maneuver, and now Resch again ushered into the corner. Getting the return feed, the shot clock to 5, calling for it, Carbone, shot clock to 1, Carbone at the horn, fired it wide. Shot got off though, but a little off target, Carbone. Boyles plays it off his forearm, and between the circles, goes Boyles. Bond now takes it along the far boards. Bond in deep. Hogarth stumbling back. And now Carbone plays the rebound off the Hogarth shot. Hogarth spins and pivoted and got a good angle on his shot, but just sent it wide. It's back to the edge ball. And fighting for it is James Call. Call gets sent hard into the boards. Now a stick goes checked down his forearm. Now the Thunder are on it again. James Call. An exciting few seconds there. Daly again has it on the far boards. Daly, Quan, back for Daly. A shot and sliding save made by Young to close the door at the last second. Daly gets his own rebound. The shot clock had reset after his pass shot. Daly pivots over the top. He scores, and Daly sneaks it in. And now whistle sound, and the officials talk about it. We'll see if it holds up. The scoreboard reads 4-1. No goal is the call, so Daly may have stepped a little bit too far in the crease. And it'll stay a 3-1 score with 6:45 to play in the second. Hasdorn cutting behind him, Sean Walsh. Walsh back for Hasdorn along the far boards. Now back to the middle to finish, and a shot deflected and wide. Chasing it all the way down is Daly. Now has a vendetta. Daly a shot turned away. Correction, that was Daly, a pass to Austin. Connor took the shot, but Daly getting the rebound off the Connor shot goes beneath the shot clock. Again, Daly to Connor, now to Quan and to Resch. Resch, the shot clock 2/3 of the way there. A delayed call against the edge. It'll be the second call against them. Rubman late out of the box, but he will come off. Rubman's to his sideline. Shot clock to 1. It's offline. Played by Andrews, so Rubman will retreat back to his own net. And we'll see what the second penalty of the period is. Two-minute minor for holding going against Brian Andrews. Friedman got 2 minutes for a slashing earlier on in the frame, and the Thunder capitalized on the man up. Looking to do so again, he go 2 for 2 on power plays as Carbone in the middle gives it wide, and Connor a shot. It goes off the back of the net, and keeping it out was Young. Quan in the mix, fighting for it behind the net, and instead Young was on the ground ball. 5 minutes and change to play in the second period. They'll wind up in the thick of Friedman into the corner by the circle. Friedman, the shot clock to 5. Trying to kill some clock. Now a shot attempt on goal. It's saved by Rubman. About as good as Friedman can make that there. 50 seconds to play on the Thunder, man up. Daly. Carbone. Carbone tried to center it again for Resch, but could not. Instead, it's played off the boards by Polchini, who with speed will cross the midline. Polchini to Voiles, who almost lost his footing, but stays up. 10-second difference between the shot clock and penalty clock is the edge. Holding the ball in the corner for now. Shot clock goes to 10. Gillespie lowering the pace. Centering feed and just high. Tried to get it on goal. The ball will fall to the floor. So a magic shot taken by Sean Walsh of the edge. But that second ball falling to the floor will allow the edge to kill the remainder of their man down. So Thunder now just 1 for 2 on man-up opportunities. Quick pass for Carbone. Carbone around the blue line. Picks up Sullivan. Sullivan goes to Connor. Connor behind the net, diving. Did he sneak it in? He did. Austin Connor, an acrobatic shot to beat Eric Young, and it's now 4-1. 2.5 to play in the second. 4-1 the score. And now Thunderball, as they've scored back-to-back goals in the game. Still low scoring. There's still a chance for the Edge to climb back in if they have to slow the bleeding here as Ryan Kwan over by the Mark Squilla sign. Kwan over for Resch around the blue line. Resch trying to get through the Edge defenders. Resch driving in on a hop, and the shot is saved by Young. 2 minutes to play in the second. Young gives for Andrews. Andrews has Dorn to the far boards. Now trying to get by his man was an Edge player who could not. Friedman's contesting for it. And now Friedman back to the top. And Voiles tried to put the rebound on goal. He did. A shoulder pad save made by Rubman. But Resch is back on it for the Thunder, looking for a fresh clock. Didn't quite get one. And whistle sounds. Looks like a timeout was called. 1:19 with a running clock. And a timeout was called by the Thunder. The clock will stop at 1:16. 4-1 the score. Through almost the first 30 minutes. We have 76 seconds to play in the second period when we come back from this Thunder timeout. $1:15 and ticking to play in the second period. 4-1 Thunder lead, chance to add to it and make a new game-high 4-goal lead for the team in yellow and black. Kwan with a hard check into the boards. It bounces off and correction that Sullivan fires a shot. Looking straight up. Brought back in by Carbone. Carbone turns the favor to the top. Men miss Connor looking for a 4th goal today. He already has 3. And the rebound off Connor's shot is played behind the midline. Fresh 30 seconds, about an 8-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Sullivan, the far circle. Sullivan whips one on goal, deflected by Young. Rebound, Kwan turned away again. And Eric Young, 2 big saves to deny Ryan Kwan and Brian Sullivan. Play whistled dead with 19.7 on the clock in the second period. We'll get the reasoning. It is an Edge timeout. So 1 timeout used by either team in the second period. We'll see what the Edge do with their last 20 seconds. Final 20 seconds to play in the second period. Andrews begins the fresh possession for the Edge. Their last one of this frame, most likely. This pass goes to Walsh. Walsh in for Andrews. It's wide of him. Off the back, netting out of play. And it appears this period will end without a shot. (4-1) the score over the first 2 periods of play. 15 more to come from Rizzo Rink in the early game on Wednesday night. The Thunder lead it comfortably, 4-1. We're into the third period of play with the Thunder leading the game 4-1 over the Edge. I'm going to be quite honest, I don't know who's in net for the Thunder right now. It's not Alec Rubman, I can tell you that much, who had a spectacular first 2 periods of play, only conceding 1 goal in his 30 minutes or more. But he's now out. Sullivan off the draw. We'll send one in for Connor. Connor gives to Resch around the blue line. Resch in front of the near circle. Resch in front, diving save. And based on the form of that save, I will guess that is Connor Atkinson in net. Oh, I'm tripping. I'm looking at the wrong side. Rubman's still in net for the Thunder. There's a new goalie in net for the Edge. He's who I don't know. So the Edge, the new goalie in. Rubman still pitching an almost perfect game, a one-hitter as of now. 4-1, and the Thunder offense is back on it after a short-lived Edge offensive possession. And Ryan Kwan couldn't bring in it, deflects off his stick and goes out of play. A little over a minute in the third. Back from a brief break, the Edge are on another shot again, deflected off the shoulder pad of Rubman. Getting confirmation on the Edge goalie, who's in net at the moment, who's wearing gear with yellow trim, which is why I initially thought it may be the Thunder goalie, but yeah, nah, that's the Edge. Rubman's still doing a good job. Sullivan around the blue line. Into the circle in front of the booth. Sullivan was tied up. Underhand pass for Kwan. It's by him and off the backboards. Picked up again by the Edge. Whistle sound. And there will be a penalty here. That'll be the third penalty of the day against the Edge. This one against James Call. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Thunder 1 for 2 so far on man-ups. 4-1 lead overall in the game. Goalie is now James Call for the Edge, who just got a penalty. .11:45 to play in the third. Another shot, whipped attempt. Connor was denied. It's a shot attempt was blocked. Connor trying to scoop it up, he could not. Now he's on it. Shot clock halfway expired. He gets Sullivan in the middle. Sullivan to Resch. Resch back to Connor. Connor whips one that's off the helmet of Andrews. Andrews a little bit rattled. He's back to his feet. Now Sullivan on a hop, deflected and ushered wide by Call. There's a jersey number update. Man wearing number 9 today is David Anderson rather than James Call. Then Call in net is the emergency goalie today. Thunder up the floor the other way. Resch the return. Around the blue line. Resch underhand pass off the backboards. Played by Carbone. Carbone returns it for Resch. Resch over the top, shot clock to 3. Resch a shot and deflected by call out of play. Daly took the shot on a pass from Resch. Under 10 to play in the third. Still time for the Edge. They need to get going fast. They have not scored in what is now 16 straight minutes. Juan lost the ball, pounced on by Walsh, and that one found the iron behind Rubman. Ricochet to Resch. Resch to Carbone. Carbone had Daly cut in front, instead goes to Hogarth between the circles. Hogarth with a Thomas Taylor sign, and now Sutter stepping back in. Stepping back, Hogarth to Resch, again between the circles. Resch cutting in. Connor Resch off balance and shot turned away. Thunder on it yet again. Quan centering feed, couldn't get it, and Daly let it go off the stick. Whistle sounds. DeFinis is back the other way. DeFinis toward Higdon, who's turned away. Sullivan around the midline. Friedman now on it for the Edge. Friedman to DeFinis. DeFinis gets by Resch. A shot again off the iron behind Rubman and out of play. Boyle's looking for a centering feed, didn't get him. It's off the legs of a man behind him, that being Harding, who's now back on it, as the ricochet went down to his goalie Eric Young in net. Harding cuts across the blue line, shot clock 2/3 expired. Harding on goal, it's saved by Rubman, and back to the Thunder. Here's Quan through the blue line once more. Quan in the near circle. Quan diving attempt and stepping in the crease. The second goal today waved off for the Thunder, and it keeps the game with a 3-goal deficit for the Edge, whose offense is now on it, trying again. Pass by the target of Walsh, it's by him again. Walsh trying to get across the midline, and he will just in time. Walsh's next pass, and it's one hopper for Hasdorn. Hasdorn, again turned away by Rubman. Rubman dishes. Quan evades 2 stick checks. Now out wide to Carbone. Carbone, a one-handed stick play attempt. And saved by Call. Now the Edge on it, open floor. Puccini was in the area, but now he'll sub off. DeFinis around the midline with 7 minutes to play in regulation time. DeFinis to Harding. Harding through the main circle and through the blue line. Now between the offensive circles. Harding, the shot clock to 3, to 2, to 1. Harding needs to get it off. He does not. Shot clock violation against the Edge, and that's a costly one. Still down by 3, and now just 6.5 minutes to play. Resch between the circles, drives in, and his shot is wide of Call, and it hits 95. It's back and played to the Edge. Here's Higdon on a hop, wide of Rubman. And then played off a chest pad of a Thunder player, that being Daly. Daly to Quan. Quan beneath the shot clock. Quan to Connor. Connor, shot, they score. Austin Connery, 4-goal night for the Thunder offense, and they lead by 4. It's now 5-1 with 5.5 to play in regulation. and that the very likely dagger in this one. Off the draw, Lawrence tags Sullivan. Sullivan wrapped the stick around the floor and launched the ball backwards, back into his defensive zone. But Resch is on it for the Thunder. Thunder likely in just clock-killing mode as Resch trying to spin by a defender. Passes it out wide looking for Connor. It's by him and beneath the shot clock where Hogarth will get it on it. He gives for Quan. That's wide of Quan. Friedman will play it off the boards. Friedman cutting through the main circle. Friedman gives for Hasdorn. Along the midline. Hasdorn, Higdon. Higdon to Walsh. Walsh gets by his man. A one-hop shot wide of Rubman. There will be no fresh 30 seconds. At least for the Edge. They'll be reset for the Thunder. The Edge running out of time. One more Thunder goal would all but seal it, if it hasn't already been. Quan in the main circle. Quan for Hogarth. Between the circles, Hogarth a shot and a sliding save by Call. Connor will try it again. Again, it's wide of Call. Resch lost it off his stick, and here come Friedman and the Edge. Friedman's by him and almost fell in the back of the net. Friedman's back on it. A centering feed, it's wide of his teammate. As Michael Wadley had a chance in front, Friedman a little bit too high on the assist. And Rubman gets away with one. He made a nearly costly mistake in his crease. Under 3 minutes to play in regulation. Resch trying to put it away for the Thunder. Dishes out wide for Connor. Connor plays it on the hop. Centering feed. Sullivan a chance. Turned away by Call. And James Call has been very solid in his one period. Only one goal conceded in his now 12.5 minutes of work. Sullivan in the near circle. Sullivan pushing forward. Sullivan maybe took a stick up high. Deemed clean. And now behind the back play. Turned away. It's still loose and back on the edge. Under 2 minutes to play in regulation time. The Edge to score. The finish fires it wide. Rebounds wide of everyone. Backing it out of the stick of Carbone. And Friedman's on it. Friedman went for Boyles, and now Boyles has it around the blue line. Boyles spinning free. Boyles fired it wide, and again pushed to the left. Austin Connor on it for the Thunder, and Connor gets it to Resch. Resch up the floor to Quan, and Quan is back plenty of time. Quan for Sullivan, and Sullivan scores. Brian Sullivan adds his name to the score sheet. And it's now 6-1 Thunder, and that will all but do it. Final minute to play here in regulation time. 6-1 scored in favor of the Thunder. Austin Connor scoring 4 in the win. Brian Quan with 1 and Brian Sullivan with 1 as well. Joseph Hasdorn, the only goal today for the Edge. That made it a 2-1 deficit, but then 4 straight scored by the Thunder to seal this one up. Off the tie-up, it's now Thunderball. Quan the other way. Off speed, it somehow works out. Quan was going to pull back. It bounced off his stick and goes through the legs of James Call. And the final will be 7-1 Thunder in all likelihood, as Ryan Kwan gets his second. And I think confusedly for us all, put that one on SportsCenter. Final 10 seconds to play. Off the face-off, it's Friedman for the Edge, who gets a tie-up win. Friedman streaking in, shot saved by Rubman, up in the air, and turned away by the Thunder defense one final time. Alec Rubman comes in relief of Connor Atkinson and allows just one over 45 minutes. We go to game 2 on this Wednesday night. It is between the Moore Dudes and the Outlaws. The Thunder win game 1, 7-1, with a clear MVP being Alec Rubman. And I'm just being told now, with Rubman's great performance in the Thunder win, the Thunder have now clinched a playoff spot. This upcoming PBLA playoff season coming in early August, so not far away, and not much time left for teams at the Edge to get in the win column for the season. It'll be More Dudes Outlaws the next few minutes when we come back on the PBLA streaming network. Hello everyone, welcome back to Rizzo Rink for the late game on this Wednesday night. This one including a playoff team, the Moore Dudes, taking on the Outlaws, who just a few moments ago had their season confirmed to end this to end in the regular season, I'll word it that way, as the Thunder win knocks the Outlaws out of the playoffs. So your current playoff standings as far as total points, the Black Storm with 10 games played are in first, the Moor Dudes are in second with 8 games played, Thunder in third with 8 games played, and the Beerwolves in fourth with 9 games played. Those will be your 4 playoff teams to the 2025 PBLA playoffs. But still a 12-game season for all of them. The seeds still yet to be determined, and the 1 seed up for grabs for all 4 of the names we just mentioned. The Outlaws, though, trying to play spoiler and take away some potential points here for the Moor Dudes. Off the original tie-up, it's the Outlaw ball as Portnoy would put on goal. And that one was eaten up by Billy Hauser, who gets the start today for the Moor Dudes in net. Hauser will take on a mix of Kieran Clark and Matt Kuhn on the other end. Kieran Clark will be the first one to get his name called for the Outlaws. Clark shoots up the loose ball. His first pass will go to the man wearing number 17 for the Outlaws. It's James DeCrispinell. Streaking in the other way, though, for the Moor Dude offense was Carter Begley, one of the team's highest scorers this season. He's turned away. Stainer sends his next pass for Portnoy. Portnoy out wide, now returns Stainer, pass, shot, and they score. Joe Stainer will beat Billy Hauser. And a typical scoring hot streak for the veteran Stainer makes it 1-0. About a minute and a half in, it's 1-0 Outlaws. Again, trying to play spoiler to the Moor Dudes, who just officially clinched the playoff spot. Violation called on the face-off, so it appears like we'll lead to the draw, which ensued after the Joe Stainer goal to open the scoring. Mayen tied up with the Outlaws. Mayen knocked down, and he gives to Swiker. And Swiker behind Clark in net to Stainer. And that is 3 names to a lot of history: Mayen, Swiker, and Stainer. Stainer gets the return feed. Stainer with one, and it's wide of Hauser. Rebound played off the boards in the back of the net by the Moor Dude offense this time. Opening up the other way. Dalton Hoffman across the midline. Hoffman a shot. That one found the iron. But he'll sneak up by Clark. Rebound back to Sam Mutz. Mutz a pass, and it's off the stick of Hoffman. And back into Outlaw possession. Up the floor, Dylan Poole. Poole in the corner. Dylan Poole behind the net. Poole, pump face, now cuts back in space. Poole a shot, saved by Hauser, pops back in front of him, and a forearm swipe will send it behind him now into the corner, where both sides scramble for it, and have the Moor Dudes to clear the zone. Moor Dude ball with Miller. Miller is centering feed turned away. And now Miller is back on it, behind the back, look out, wide shot, saved Clark, and he scoops it up once more. Clark the other way, drops in the breadbasket for Stainer, in on goal and turned away. Miller will play it around the midline. He goes to Krause. Krause dishes to Mutz at the blue line. Mutz to Rosnow. Rosnow a shot, saved by Clark. Kieran Clark, a few big saves in the early going. About 4 1/4 minutes gone in this first period. Outlaw ball the other way. Portnoy to the nearer circle. Portnoy gets stripped, checked into the boards, behind the net and beneath the shot clock, and then Moor Dudes take it away. Across the midline, Rosnow tied up. Still tied up, forced to back it away. Now pass into the middle and wide of the target, Begley. Another try, Begley a shot, they score. And the Mordues even the game up at 1-1 as Carter Begley, in extremely typical fashion for the Mordew offense, makes it 1-1 with 10:15 to play. Stainer takes it around the main circle as the Outlaws win the ensuing draw. Stainer for Poole, tied up, fighting through it. Can't find any space. Portnoy still tied up, tossed backwards. A little bit of mustard on the extra. A little bit of mustard after the play. Portnoy will be sent off near the bench. You can imagine the Outlaws will be a bit over anxious about the penalty calls in this one. They had 5 in their past game. 5 just going against them, mind you. Still a few more going against their opponent. We'll have a fresh face-off. As I honestly did not realize that Portnoy got that in. So it's now 2-1 Outlaws on the scoreboard. Two-1 Outlaws, 8 to go in the first period. Mordu's trying to take it right back, and they cannot. Shot came from Begley that was saved by Clark. Second chance again by Begley, turned away the second time by Clark. And the Mordu's will try it again. Firing the shot, another save by Clark, and this one came from Akana Tilasoy, number 71. Tilasoy, Hoffman with a pass to Minardi. Then Minardi to the top. Tilasoy is turned away. So Portnoy, fresh off his goal, back on the floor. Swiker on the far boards. Swiker takes a check into them. Now centering feed for Mayen, and Mayen couldn't bring it in. And it wound up in the sick of Billy Hauser. Hauser on the Morgans up the floor the other way. Here's Scott. Scott to Rosnow. Rosnow a shot. He scores. And Kenori Rosnow is even the score. It's 2-2 as he joins Begley on the Mordew score sheet. The game is tied once again with 6.5 to play. Mayen off the tie-up. A little bit of a bounce, and he gives it to Portnoy, who scores. About the latest assist you will ever see in lacrosse, as Mayen shuffled it to Portnoy, who gets his second goal of the day and makes it 3-2. Mordu's ball between the circles. Up the floor, Rivera pushing one wide, it deflects off the glass twice, and now picked up by the Outlaws. That one ball was Racine to Portnoy. Portnoy to the middle, and that's wide of everyone. Played off the boards once more. Mordu ball. The offense will slow up the pace with Samuel Beamer. The last one to touch it. Beamer hit a man, hit two. Beamer is beaming everyone. Now takes a shot. As taking offense to that was to Crispino, and now the Mordu score through the Beamer distraction. And this one finds the back of the net, courtesy of number 24, Wade Mutz, and it's now 3-3. Mayan off the draw to Dylan Poole. Poole shot toward the net, saved by Hauser. Rebound came out to Ethan Kraus, and Kraus takes it across the midline. Kraus to Scott. Scott finds Hoffman. Hoffman in the near circle in front of the Outlaw bench. Hoffman ushers it out wide. Scott again pushed it wide. Deflected up by an Outlaw. Winds up in the hands of Minardi, who scores. Back-to-back goals for the Mordus, and it's 4-3. Mayan directly into the corner. Mayan trying to hop off his man. Hakana Tillisway got in the area. And Mayan lost one now. Now it's some more to the play. And Mayan talking with Troyden Arnold and Wade Mutz. Looks like a penalty will be issued here. So 2-minute penalties going against Croydon Arnold and Dylan Poole. For correction number 19, it's Will Mayan. So Mayan for the Outlaws, Arnold for the Mordus. Will both get called for penalties. So we're 4-on-4 for the next minute 43 and ticking. They'll take up most of the remaining 2:22 in this first period. Mordus trying to be the first one to capitalize on the 4-on-4. They're unable to right there, though. And now fire a shot, they score. What great placement by Jonathan Miller, and it's now 5-3. So Miller scores a third straight goal for the Mordus. The Outlaws have not scored in the last 4 minutes, which is not that long of a time. So 3 goals in the last 4 minutes of game action for this Mordu offense. Stainer takes the pass around the midline. Stainer in deep, it picks off, and here come the Mordus the other way, and a 3-on-2. Shot, score! 4 in a row for the Mordus. This one again scored by Jonathan Miller, who has back-to-back in the game. Now 2 goals scored on the 4-on-4 by Miller. Final minute of play in this first period. Ethan Krause takes it around the blue line. Krause into the corner. Krause, Miller looking for a hat trick in the last minute and a half. He could not get it there. It was loose in front of Kieran Clark. Remains in net for the Outlaws. Instead, up the floor the other way come the Outlaws. Portnoy checks his pace and now slows it up. Stainer, Racine. Shot clock to 10, about 8.5 seconds difference from the shot clock and game clock. Swiker the shot clock to 7. Stainer lost the ball. Krause coming back with speed. Krause is by everybody, but not Clark. He makes the save. Krause now dishes it back out. It's off the outlaw bench. Picked up by Hardison. Brandon Hardison tied up. Shot. He scored. He beat the horn. It somehow got through the pads of Hauser. And Brandon Hardison, at the very last moment, makes it 6-4, and a great way to steal a goal from this Mordu defense that was incredibly strong in that first period. 6-4 the score in the first 15. We'll be back with game action in a few moments, but a few notes to give into this first period. In attendance today, some big names, including Frank Bonner, longtime PBLA player, who played for several years, but most notably with the Vipers, who have become the Outlaws. Also the creative genius behind our Walt Bujak Memorial Trophy, given to the most sportsmanlike player of the year. An incredibly cool trophy. Get that 3D printed across the head. Always a cool sight to see toward the end of the year. The PBLA refs give out the award in memory of Walt, who was a PBLA official who lost in 2022. So be sure to stay tuned toward the end of the season for the presentation of the Walt Bujak Memorial Trophy. For what I believe now is the 3rd year from doing the math right. And hopefully it will become a long-standing tradition. Tie-up whistle sounds for violations against the Outlaws, and so the already beaten by 2 Mordies take it away. And Nardi the first one to touch it. Nardi feeds a man in the corner. Now a centering feed, a shot off the foot pad of Matt Kuhn. He's now the man in net for the Outlaws, relieving Kieran Clark of his duties at the first period. Outlaws back the other way, and a shot dipped on goal. Well, ushered wide, De Crispino took the shot. Portnoy is down in front of the bench with 2 Mordies in the area. Ball pried loose, there'll be a delayed call against the Mordies. So 2-minute penalty against Carter Begley for a check from behind. That'll result in a man up for the Outlaws. They're 0 for 1. That was during the 4-on-4. They have not had a true 5-on-4 man up yet today, or 4 now at least. Matt Kuhn will retreat back into his own net as Jonathan Miller is tied up behind him. Now Kuhn will pick up the ground ball. He'll move up the floor, Dylan Poole, among others. Poole to pass in for Hardison to beat the horn to get a last-second goal in the first period. Now Poole to Stainer. Point-blank angle, turned away. They're coming the Mortons the other way. Kraus in the near circle. Kraus goes right. Shot sent wide and almost off the broadcast booth instead over by the Morton bench. Stainer's in the pass in deep since the Mortons are back the other way with it. Tillersoy on the return. Driving in, shot saved by Kuhn. And it appears a safe deflection went off for Outlaw, who will now come off. You can see who that is. That's Portnoy. Portnoy now stays on. He just lost the chin strap. But he's back on the floor. Portnoy around the blue line. In deep, deflected, and almost another tip-in goal by Hardison. Portnoy back on defensive coverage. He was joining the sub off. Racine now there to help. And a shot got by them both, but not by Matt Kuhn. Hoffman chasing it down. Hoffman spinning in space. And penalty will be called. We'll see if this is against. And in the background, the Mortons killing their man down, which came off the Begley penalty. 2-minute bench minor for an illegal sub goes against the Mortons. So now 2 penalties coming in the second frame, and both in somewhat rapid succession. Hardison has it in the near circle. Hardison further in and turned away. Stainer with a chance at it. And instead the Mortons up the floor the other way. Miller outsplits that main circle. Miller, Mutz, turned away by Kuhn, who makes the save. Hardison's on it. Hardison up the floor. Poole, Stainer directing traffic. Stainer a pass to the middle to Crispino. Wanted a chance at it, didn't get it there. Instead, Racine again for Stainer behind the net. Neither one to get it up cleanly. Miller streaking down across the midline. Now Miller into the corner, behind the net, waiting for help. Miller diving, turned away by Matt Kuhn yet again. It rattled in and out along the crease, but kept out by the outball goaltender. Poole, Stainer on the blue line. Stainer on a hop. That's saved by the Morton goaltender. Here's Scott up the other end. Scott to Kraus. Kraus shot, and it took a hop off the ceiling and out of play. Last touch by the Mortons, outlaw ball. 10 seconds to fly on that man up for the Mortons. It looks like they're going to kill back-to-back. And they will as the final seconds tick off. We're back to 5-on-5 full strength. Sam Mutz and Jonathan Miller come on. The Outlaws now 0 for 3 on penalties, though one still being the 4-on-4. 0 for 2 on man-ups. Hardison. Behind the back look, in and out of the stick. Dylan Poole twice, now 3 times. Maybe 4th time's the charm, but Swat away before he had a chance at it. Mortons back on it. Centering feet to the middle, Scott. Scott out wide. Mutz turned away by Kuhn. Kuhn lost one down the floor, takes a hop, and goes out of play. It hit the base of the netting on the top of the glass. turnover from Matt Kuhn. Moody the other way. Good pick set. Another shot deflected off the top of the pads from Kuhn. And now another whistle sounds. It's a violation against the Mordies and the outlaw ball. Looks like an outlaw. Looks like a quick breather. Timeout called by the Outlaws. 6-4 the score. 8:35 to play in the second. Eight and a half to play in the second period. Outlaw ball. Stainer hovering around the blue line, directing traffic. Stainer centering feed. Racine couldn't bring it in by him and kept in James DeCrispino of the Outlaws, number 17. DeCrispino finds Racine again. The shot clock to 5. Behind the circle, knocked down hard, ball loose, and Hauser's on it. And that was Portnoy who had a chance to get it toward the net. It was knocked down before he can get a clean shot off. Samuel Beamer into the corner. Beamer lost the ball in his first attempt, but brings it back in. Attila Soy. Rosnow. And deep sliding save made by Kuhn. And second chance they score. Begley gets the rebound. And it's now 7 for Mortons as they score their first goal of the period halfway through. Mayen around the blue line. Mayen on the far boards. Mayen to Poole. Poole in front. Racine a chance that didn't get it. Matt Kuhn's out of his own net. It'll be a delayed call against the Mordudes. And that delay will come to an end. The Mordudes briefly had clean possession there. And they will have their 4th penalty of the game called. Though the Outlaws have not capitalized on one yet. So 2-minute minor against Ethan Krause. The Mordudes are butt ending. Portnoy's shot. Ricochet deflects off the glass in front of the booth. And now almost a one-handed snag by a Mordude. Knocked way out of play. And off the pillars holding up I-95. Portnoy has it for the Outlaws across the midline. Portnoy Hardison between the circles off the face mask of Portnoy, who's now bumped, fighting for it, lost the ball. And now the Mordudes are on it. Miller cuts back. Miller a shot. He scores. It somehow beat Matt Kuhn and got under the outstretched arm of the Outlaw goalie, but it's now 8-4 as Miller has a hat trick. .440 to play in the second. Taking the first pass to the fresh possession for the Mordudes is Kanari Rosnow. Rosnow out wide around the blue line, a shot like a 10, and Bernardi now, shot, they score! Back-to-back shots go through the legs of Matt Kuhn, and it's now 9-4 Mordudes. And Hoffman with yet another answer. The Mordudes had 4 penalties called against them in the game. And now Joe Stainer called for a 2-minute penalty for slashing. Maybe a 2-minute minor. The Mordudes scored 2 goals the last time the Outlaws had a penalty. It was in a 4-on-4. 3:20 to play in the second. Hoffman dishes, shot, turned away by Kuhn. And that's a big save to get some momentum back in his own personal favor. And now Stainer tried to bring it in. And now the Outlaw ball, 5-on-5 full strength, is I misread the last penalty call yell. The penalty was waved off. It was a slashing going against Stainer. Now Stainer mad at himself going off the bench. But that Stainer penalty was waved off to the Outlaw go. So it's still 5-on-5. No man up for the Mordudes. Kraus gives to Sam Mutz, and now Mutz returns the favor, but it's wide of Kraus. Kraus to Begley in the near circle. Begley between the circles. Begley, Kraus. Kraus diving, turned away by Kuhn. Apparently did not hit Matt Kuhn. Now the shot does, and that's Begley right in the chest pad. But Kuhn will pounce on it. Begley back the other way for the Mordudes. Tried to get one back on goal. He could not. Begley hovering around the blue line. Trying to spin past Swiker. Instead holds in the main circle. Now a shot. Deflected and sent wide into the corner. They play a shot, they score. Off the leg pad of Kuhn. On the assist for the Mordudes, it'll be Heffron. And winding up with the goal will be Evan Scott off the deflection, and it's now 10 for Mordudes. And they have now scored 4 straight goals in the game. The Outlaws have not scored since the buzzer beater goal by Hardison to end the first period. 45 seconds to play in the second period now. Mordude ball with Wade Mutz. Mutz to other Mutts. They score. Way to Sam. It's 11-4. More dudes. So Wade Mutts finds Sam Mutts for the first goal of the day for either of the Mutts brothers. And that is now the 5th straight goal in the game for this Moordude offense to make it 11-4. Off the face-off, Mayen will win it. Mayen whips one off balance and wide of the net. Let's see if there's any extracurriculars into the play. There are not. We'll have a 90-second break before third period action gets underway. 11-4, the Moordudes lead in the third. Off the ensuing tie-up to begin this third period. There'll be a violation against the Moordudes, so outlaw ball. Stainer subs on, will cut across the midline. Stainer passes it in, a shot rattling around and kept out by Hauser. As Hauser denies to Crispino, the scoring drought will continue now at 15.5 minutes for the outlaw offense. Sam Mutts around the main circle. Mutts, shot, turned away. Rebound back into the stick of the Moordudes, and it's by everybody. And all the way back down to Hauser. Only 7 seconds, and now 10 to come off the shot clock, though. Plenty of time for the Moordude offense to work with. Hoffman out wide. Another shot by Begley. Rebound played by Hoffman. Eaten by a Moordude in front of the net. Hoffman fighting for the ground ball. He couldn't get it off the back wall beneath the shot clock. Hoffman to the middle, and it's wide of everyone. Outlaw ball instead. Swiker and Portnoy around the main circle. Portnoy shot, they score. And Portnoy with his third goal of the game makes it 11-6. A correction, 11-5. And maybe some momentum coming back in the outlaw favor. That will end the scoring drought at 16 minutes and 41 seconds. Mayen off the face-off. Driving in, shot saved by Hauser. Hauser's back on it. Lofts the ball all the way down. What a pass, but just pushed wide. And done so by Heffron. Now another try is deflected and sent to the corner in front of the scorer's table. In the middle, behind the back shot, they score. And that's somehow snuck in. It's a Mordu goal. We didn't see the jersey number of the man who scored it. And Evan Scott will find another one today. It's his second goal of the game. And now 12-5 Mordus. So behind the back look by Evan Scott makes this 7-goal game once again. Mayen off the draw, fired one wide. Floyd and Arnold on the ground ball. Arnold. Miller, a shot eaten up and fallen on by the outlaw goaltender. There's still Matt Kuhn at the moment. Here's Hardison. Hardison to Portnoy. Portnoy further in. Centering feed, it's by to Crispino. Stainer had it in his stick for a brief moment, and instead the Mordu dropped the other way with it. Wade Mutz in, shot, score. 13-5 Mordus. .10-15 to play in the third. Scott the other way to Kraus and to Sam Mutz. Mutz to the middle, a shot, saved, deflected by Hardison, saved by Matt Kuhn. Kuhn finds Swiker. Swiker directs Racine wide to the left. Now to Crispino around the blue line. James DeCrispino between the circles looking for Swiker. It's by him. Swiker couldn't find the ball for a brief moment. DeCrispino trying to get back on it. Mutz and Arnold in the area. And now Kraus with one hand on the stick, plays around the midline. Kraus, Attila Soy wide of the net. The rebound played by Arnold. And Arnold will sub off. Evan Scott to Kraus. Hoffman subs on for Arnold. Kraus by the blue cross line, centering feed in the middle. Attila Soy turned away. Rosnow in front. That one again denied. Scott by the Roman Catholic sign. 9 minutes to play in the third. Kraus takes it on the drop from Mutz. Kraus between the circles, saved by Matt Kuhn. Rebound, turned away. 2 more saves to the outlaw goaltender. Now whistles will sound. Stoppage of play called. And a timeout by the Outlaws is the reason. The Outlaws have used timeout in the second and third periods. They trail by 8, 13-5. outlaw ball. Hardison, the first man on the pass. Hardison back towards Swiker. It's wide. And a violation goes against the Outlaws. Back to Moody possession. Moordude ball. 2 passes, and now 3 to the Moordude offense. As Tillisoy, Hoffman turned away. So upon Tillisoy denied. Roz now in front of Hoffman now. Tillisoy takes it, and that one's saved by Matt Kuhn, briefly stuck in the pads. Now running clock with under 7:45 now and ticking. There's a penalty will be called though against the Outlaws. So it'll be 2 penalties against the same player, Will Mayen of the Outlaws. Both will be 2 minutes for a slash and a hold. So 5-on-4 in favor of the Moordudes for the next 3:45. Now Moordude ball to Tillisoy. Directing traffic, sending Hoffman in deep. Tillisoy gives to Kraus in the corner. Kraus back to Tillisoy, a shot sent wide. Hoffman plays the rebound. Another shot turned away. And Matt Kuhn with a big save from the second one. Tillisoy in the middle. A shot. Begley denied. Tillisoy wants the rebound. Begley scoops it instead. And now Hoffman. Behind the back look turned away. Tillisoy with the man to touch it. The front feed and back to Begley a fresh 30 seconds. Begley on the return. Begley back to Hoffman. Hoffman to Tillisoy. Double pump. Now a pass. Wide. Begley took the shot. Shot clock halfway there. Tillisoy between the circles. Shot, they score. Akana Tillisoy makes it 14-5 Moordudes. .5:40 to play in the third. 14-5 to score. We stay 5-on-4. Kraus to Hoffman. 20. Hoffman between the circles to Minardi. Minardi to Kraus and return to Minardi. Minardi a shot off the glass and rebound played by Swiker. Swiker cuts back to the middle. Swiker lofting one to the corner looking for Stainer and said it's off the wall and into the corner out of play. Kraus up the other end in front of the far boards. Kraus's pass goes to Heffron. Heffron just inside the blue line, a one-hop pass back toward Kraus. It's wide of him. And now giving chase is Poole. Poole will take it. Looking for Racine, didn't get there. And now up the floor the other way with Rosnow. Rosnow a shot, or pass correction. And was looking for Heffron. Got it to him. Took an extra hop or two though. Begley took one from between the circles, and that one saved by Matt Kuhn. Another violation called against the Outlaws now, this time coming across the middle of the floor. Hoffman takes it for the more dudes, and that one turned away as Hoffman dropped the Begley, couldn't find the ball at a brief moment there. Begley, Hoffman with a missile. That one saved by Matt Kuhn with a missile from nearly point blank. Now, Racine knocked the ball loose. Miller back the other way, and the more dudes are pouring on the chances. Begley again wanted another one, didn't get it. Begley one goal for another hat trick. Another shot eaten up. They have been blocked down by an outlaw in front of Matt Kuhn. But Swiker takes it from beneath the shot clock. Swiker up the floor and Stainer had it in his stick, but just couldn't hold on to it. Tosses the stick behind them. 5-on-4 the other way. The shot gets wide. Racine chasing after it. Evan Scott behind the back. Sends one all the way back down. Attila Soy double pump. Attila Soy wants to get his own rebound off the waiver pass. Attila Soy centering feed. Beamer wrapping around behind the net. Took a stick up high with under 3 minutes to play. Behind the back, again sent wide. An off speed behind the back shot. Attila Soy eaten up by Matt Kuhn. And now again, the more due to the steal at midfield. Again, Jonathan Miller. Miller, shot, they score. Begley on the assist from Miller, and it's 15-5. And Begley has his hat trick. Minute 45 to play in the third. 15-5 to score. Hardison fighting for it. Couldn't get it. Instead, it's more deep ball. Taking it away is Evan Scott. Scott finds Hoffman. Hoffman gives to Kraus. Kraus returned the favor to Hoffman, who found a teammate, and a shot, they score. Another one. And this one, Ben Minardi, for the second time today at 16-5. The Mordants will cruise to victory here in the second game on Wednesday night, as they defeat the Outlaws currently by a score of 16-5, but still about 50 seconds and change that for the better for either side. Off the face-off, violation goes against the more dudes and outlaw ball. So the more dudes who have clinched a playoff spot will further do some damage to the Outlaws, who are now an extra game out. They were eliminated earlier on today by the Thunder win over the Edge, 7-1. A game that was played a lot closer than the final scoreboard would allude to. So credit to the Edge, who, while still winless on the year, putting up a fight with one of the better teams in the league. The Outlaws with the final seconds of the clock run out. The shot clocks are disabled. And it'll be blown dead with 5 to go. 16-5, your final score from Rizzo Rink on the nightcap. So your playoff picture now stands. The Mordudes, with 9 games played, will break their tie with the Storm for the league leader in wins. It'll be Dudes, Storm, Beerwolves, Thunder. Dudes, Storm, Thunder, Beerwolves. It's the top 4 teams going into next week, and the playoffs to begin the week following. Thank you all for watching this presentation of the PBLA. I'm Caden Stewart signing off for the Thunder and Mordudes victorious tonight.